What's the best content strategy for thought leadership? Neuroscience shows that our human brains can only focus on one thing at a time. We can't multitask. When we think we're multitasking, our brain is actually flicking back and forth between the two tasks. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's stressful, tiring, and not very effective. But this is how many thought leaders, content creators, and professional service firms approach their content marketing. They produce one set of content to attract new clients, and then they produce another set to keep their existing clients happy. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The other strategy many people adopt is worse. They only produce content to attract new clients. The problem with this strategy is that it's 5 to 25 times cheaper to keep an existing client than attract a new one. In this video, I'll show you how to avoid both of these situations. I'll show you how to produce one set of content that attracts both new clients and keeps your existing ones. Best of all, there are only 3 crucial questions you need to answer. That's why this is the best thought leadership content strategy. In our previous 2 videos, we talked about how to create thought leadership solutions to solve your clients' problems. Today, we want to turn your thought leadership into content marketing so you can attract new clients and serve your existing ones. Your first question needs to be based on how do you serve your existing clients? And it's a question that you should focus on every day of being in business. How do you provide value to your clients? Often when I ask my clients this, I get superficial answers. They say something like, I'm a keynote speaker, I do presentations. I'm an author, I write. I'm a consultant, I help people. That's like saying Gordon Ramsay cooks. Of course he does, he's one of the world's best chefs. But what we really want to know is how. What makes Gordon Ramsay a great chef? How does he do it? The more specific you can be about how you provide value to your clients, the better your marketing results will be. Have you heard of Kaizen, lean manufacturing, Six Sigma? All of these movements derived from the Toyota production system. They were seen as leaders in how to manufacture quality products. One of the tools they used was called the 5 whys. Essentially, when something goes wrong, you stop to consider why it happened. And to do this, you ask the same question. Why did this happen? But you ask it 5 times. Why did it happen? Why did it happen? Why did it happen? And so forth. And hopefully you get closer to the core problem. It sounds like a 4-year-old child, doesn't it? In our situation, we want to do the same thing, except our question is how. You want to dig deeper into how you produce value for your clients. Here's my example of my 5 hows. The first question you need to ask is, what do you do? I help business experts earn money from what they know. Then we want to ask our how question 5 times. How do you do that? Through creating content and IP. How do you do that? Through designing models and frameworks. How do you do that? Through identifying the core principles. How do you do that? By talking through clients with how they work. And how do you do that? Through asking the question, if a client was sitting in front of you right now, what would you tell them to do? Can you see how specific this is now? Can you see also that I can start creating content around some of these things? How do you design models and frameworks? How do you define your core principles? And how do you talk to your clients? Now it's your turn. How do you provide value to your clients? Now for the second question in our best thought leadership content strategy. It's where most people want to focus. It's how to attract new clients. The big problem here is that we need to try to understand what it's like for new clients to buy from us. But that's impossible for 2 reasons. Firstly, you can never see yourself as clearly as others do. Secondly, you can't see yourself for the first time. You know way too much about yourself, including all of your foibles. And this is where your selling and your marketing goes wrong. You talk about how you see the world and not how your potential new clients see it. We talked more about this in the video, Create Your Killer Client Value Statement in 3 steps. So what do you need to do to overcome this? You could employ a coach to help you. You could do some market research to find out what people think. Or you could simply ask this question: where have you bought something similar? And from your answers to this question, we can find some general principles of the things you need to address for potential new clients buying from you. Let's look at an example. First, think about the service that you provide, but don't be too specific here. For me, it's as broad as I offer online group coaching. Second, who provides a service similar to this that you've bought from recently? For me, I bought a monthly subscription to a service to help me grow my business through making videos. Clearly, I bought this service because I'm not an expert in this area, but it is similar to the way that I deliver my value. Third, write down the things that you wanted to have addressed before you made your purchase. For example, here's some typical answers to this question. It needs to look relatively simple and easy to get results. I want to know, like, and trust the person I'm going to be working with. They need to be generous with their thoughts and show they want to help. I need to see evidence of other people who have been in my situation and have succeeded. There needs to be some logical rationale to the process. And they need to be someone who shows up and has a track record of being of service in that area. You might have some other things you'll add to this list, but this is a good place to start. Now that you have the list, you want to find some ways to address these concerns for potential clients in your content process. There are two important parts to this. The first is your website. You need to address these potential questions on your website so potential clients who come visiting can have their questions answered. The second is to show this in your content marketing. And notice the important word there: show. It's show, not tell. One of the big mistakes many people make on their dating profile is that they write down, "I have a good sense of humor." While that's a desirable quality, that's not the way to go about it, because that's not very believable. Everybody says that. But if you demonstrate your sense of humor by saying something amusing, then I'm going to believe you. Also, how you show this is crucial. If you want people to know, like, and trust you, then it's really hard to do that if you only use words. How many times have you read an email and misinterpreted what the sender meant by their message? That's because our words don't fully express our emotions. Hearing your voice on a podcast is very different, because I can hear the tone of your voice, I can hear the laughter, I can perhaps hear the nervous pausing. And naturally, video is better than audio because I can actually see you as well as hear you. That's not to say you should only produce video in your content, but I seriously recommend considering at least have some video on your website. Now that we've looked at the world through what your existing clients want and what your potential new clients want, we can start to consider what's the overlap or what's the common threads between the two. One of my pet hates in business is when people treat new customers differently from their existing customers. For example, potential new clients are offered a discount when existing customers aren't. That sends a really bad message. It suggests that my loyalty and our relationship as an existing customer is valued less than their relationship with somebody they don't even know yet. That's like being friendly to a stranger and being mean to your partner. That doesn't make any sense. The principle I suggest you consider is this: treat everyone as if they are a client. Firstly, that's a good thing to do as a human being. Second, it's good for business. You never know when your existing clients will refer you to someone else, and you'll never know when someone you don't know comes on board as a new client. This brings us to our third question in our best thought leadership content strategy. Rather than thinking about whether someone is paying you money or not, I suggest you treat everyone as a client. Some clients pay you money, some don't, or at least not yet. And that doesn't mean you have to answer every single phone call and every single email you get from someone who's not a client. But it is a great perspective from which to create your content. To do this, here's the key question: how do you support your clients when you're not there? To answer this question, you need to go back to our first question: how do you create value for your clients? The question is the same, but the way we answer it here is different. For a keynote speaker, when you're presenting in a room full of people, There's certain things you can do that you can't do on a Zoom call or on a video. You still want to inform, entertain, and engage your audience, but you have to go about it differently. It's like it's not the full experience, it's a mini-me experience. And that's the key principle you want in your content marketing. You want to create a virtual experience of working with you. The way I think about it is that I'm providing a do-it-yourself service through my content. This gives me 3 tiers in my business. I have free content, which is a do-it-yourself program. I have group coaching, and I have one-on-one coaching. Therefore, my content to attract new clients is my DIY courses. And that's the same content that I can provide for my existing clients to enhance our interactions and relationship. Can you see how it's one set of content serving both audiences? Let's summarize what we've covered here. The best thought leadership content strategy uses capital content. It uses the same set of content to serve your existing clients as well as attract new clients. To define your capital content, you need to answer these 3 critical questions. How do you provide value to your clients? Where have you bought something similar? And number 3, how can you support your clients when you're not there? And the key principle for creating great content is to treat everyone as a client. Once you've defined your capital content, then you can move on to the next video in this series where we'll define the specific content you're going to create. You'll define what to create, when to create it, and where to share it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.